So recently, during the move from Los Angeles to London, I didn't play as many games as I had hoped for, or even, I guess, anticipated. However, I did find myself gravitating towards games that are just, easy to pick up here and there, just for short bursts. Now, some of these games were relaxed, others an injection of adrenaline, shall we say. And that's what I want to take you through here today. 5 newish releases that could be a great option, even if that window of time available to you is small. My name's Alex, this is SwitchCorner, and if you enjoy this video, subscribe, it helps out the channel a huge amount. So if you have played any of these games on today's list, let us know in the comments what you thought of them. Would love to hear all of your opinions. Alright, so OTXO is first up, and if you've watched Game Corner, one of our other channels that focuses on unedited gameplay with live commentary, you will see I actually posted my first run of this game, and I will link that video down below, so if you haven't checked it out, maybe go there next to take a look. This game though, it's a top-down twin-stick shooter. It's essentially a roguelike spin on the Hotline Miami formula, and yes, that means this game is brutal, but the gameplay incredibly satisfying. Now, I will admit it's going to take a little getting used to controls-wise. It can feel a little, let's say, jerky, but that I think is a reflection of the speed needed to succeed, and I also think it is absolutely necessary. You can snap from side to side near instantly. What I like though with this is it's not just one hit kills, you have a health meter, and that actually changes the way you play. You can take more, let's say, risks initially, but then you taper back as you get destroyed. The game wants you to be ballsy as well. It rewards combos and quick kills, and as you progress, expect to unlock new weapons and character perks, and this is all done from a hub location, a bar that you will visit between these different locations. Yeah, I've been having a blast with this game. Fantastic in handheld, love the black and white visual style, but I will add here very quickly, I'm not giving this game a score today purely because I'm still yet to beat it. I've got a couple of bosses down now, and I feel like I'm well on my way to overcoming it. Bud Spencer and Terence Hill, Slap Some Beans 2 is next, and this, 2 famous actors, I guess cult actors now, they gotta beat them up, and this it is the follow-up, picking up immediately where that first game left off. Now, to my surprise, that first game was great fun, as it took you battling through different sets from their filmography, and it had me really actually looking forward to this next entry. Now, that game, the first one, had its problems, but I had fun, and this, it's essentially just more of the same. Now, I had hoped for a little bit more in the way of changes, but what you get here is a beat 'em up with a simplistic combat scheme, which is then packaged together with mini-games of varying quality that kind of punctuate the different locations. Now, I generally enjoy it. I love the pixel art, I like the fact you can play the mini-games outside of the main quest, the soundtrack is fun, and the variety of levels is solid, but I will say it has, of course, many of the same problems carrying over, and for me that is, the combat system's been changed, but it still needs more depth and weight. It can feel a little light. The levels can be overlong, and the minigames, for me, they are just too frequent. And yet, even a little awkward to get to grips with at times. Now, if you've played all of the best in the genre, I think this entry and the first as well are worth a look, and I'm giving this today a good 7 out of 10. A shout out then to Red Deer Games for sponsoring this video with their latest release, Tell Me Your Story, and this is a perfect fit for this topic. It's a story-driven, cozy puzzle game which will be perfect for those short or extended sessions. In the story, we're taking on the role of Amelia with her best friend, a corgi named Peanut, and we're going to be visiting our grandma at her cottage. Now, our grandma, she's had an incredible life of adventure that has taken her around the world, and basically she'll be telling you these different stories, so expect to discover Asia, Europe, and the Amazon forest as we unpack her things alongside her. Then expect puzzles throughout the experience, and that's what's gonna, build these different memories. This gameplay then, it's accompanied by a relaxing soundtrack, a minimalistic but lovely visual style, and a nice variety of challenges to overcome. This is not a game that will ever be too difficult, but it is one that's easy to sit back and relax with through its couple of hour-long story. Now, thanks once again to Red Deer Games for sponsoring this video. It is seriously appreciated, and you can check out Tell Me Your Story in the pinned comment down below. It also then has a massive Switch launch discount right now that is 73% off in all regions, so it is definitely a great time to jump in. HIGHWATER now, and while the first two games are all about adrenaline, I really enjoyed my short burst with this turn-based adventure strategy game. I think for me it was the relaxed nature of the game overall, you in your boat exploring a future Earth that has been flooded. Now I will admit I wish the world itself had more to see and do, and it's definitely on the short side, around 5 hours, but again it was just perfect for what I was looking for in that moment. It's a game that just overall keeps things simple but still ramps the challenge enough to push you at least just a little. With this one then as well, I think it's fair to say the combat's probably not gonna do anything to challenge genre veterans out there, but the story accompanying it is really nice, and I love the visual style and the music. In fact, the soundtrack and radio stations around this world, just absolutely stunning. I'm going to be going today with a good 7 out of 10 on this one, only because I would have liked a little more, and while I did enjoy the climate-focused story, it is also easy to see a few areas where they could have easily expanded things further. I just don't want to say exactly what because of spoilers. Berserk Boy then is an action platformer inspired by the greats, and if you name one looking at it, that's probably going to be Mega Man, and with good reason. Many mechanics will feel familiar, but for me, it's a whole lot, I guess, faster. It's the movement of this lead that makes it stand out. I also want to say immediately the soundtrack here is banging, and the pixel visual style, just an absolute winner. Nice chunky sprites, a vivid colour palette, and a nice amount of variety. Attacks in particular have an incredibly satisfying selection of animations, and then as you do progress, these abilities will indeed grow. So where does this game suffer? I wasn't the biggest fan of all of the boss encounters, especially towards the end game, and I did find occasionally they've packed so much into the scenery, it can be a little almost overwhelming in understanding exactly what you can and can't connect with. The controls as well, they took me personally just a little while to pick up, and I would have loved a few more, I guess, tutorials in the opening moments. This game for me though screams handheld play, and I know I said 30-minute sessions, but this was my game of choice for the flight over, and I beat it in a couple of sittings during that journey. And yeah, I highly recommend this for genre fans. Even with its issues, it's a great 8 out of 10 from me, and I'm really excited now to see where they take this series next. Our final game for the video then is on the longer side for sure, ASTLIBRA, but I found myself returning to this one, and I do want to get a dedicated review out there at some point, but I really enjoyed starting this one over again, and yeah, I keep on going back to it, so I may have a second completion on my hands here. It is a game I went into originally with transparently no expectations, not because I had doubts, rather I'd done zero research and knew nothing. But yeah, this one, it's an action RPG. It was actually in development for some 10 plus years, I believe it was. And while it's not perfect, it impresses in so many ways. So first up, the adventure itself, I'd say easily 45 hours. The story I really enjoyed. It's constantly escalating as you battle amnesia following an attack on your home. And the visual style, at first it's a little unusual in my opinion, but the more time I spent with it, the more I appreciated it. And look, sure, few locations can be a little, let's say, bland, and I always found menus and text to feel on the cheap side, but yeah, has a certain charm in my opinion that eventually won me over. The best bit though is the combat and the eventual progression. It's just so satisfying as you master attacks, a dodge, and magic abilities that can be built up. The soundtrack then is a winner too, and yeah, this is a massive game. I've went into a second playthrough now, something I rarely do, so today it's a great 8 out of 10 from me. Just a final warning on this one though, not an easy game. This game will not hold your hand. And those 5 games I played over my recent trek from the States to the UK. Have you played any of these? Let us know in the comments. Also, what games do you find a good fun for those short burst moments or shorter windows? Let us know that in the comments as well. So with that, hit subscribe, join us here for reviews, deals, news and lists daily, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.